Well, it's the start of the new campaign, renewed optimism, new expectations for Chelsea. Another tough game for us to start off the season, this time against Oliver Glasner and Crystal Palace. Not an easy task for Chelsea, and we're off and running. Chelsea in their new kit, kicking things off from right to left. This is going to be so intriguing. Oliver Glasner has been absolutely brilliant with Crystal Palace. I mean, beating Manchester City in the FA Cup final was a massive enough task. And then going on to win the Community Shield on penalties against the champions of England, Liverpool. So plenty of silverware already for Glasner in the 18 months that he's been in. And Chelsea on the attack early on here. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Him and Cole Palmer playing as the two number 10s for Chelsea. With Moises Caicedo, of course, in centre. We'll see which one of the... I think it will be Reece James who will invert into midfield, and Marc Cucurella plays as the left-sided centre half. But we might also see Trevor Chalobah, who is comfortable playing there. And there you have it. Trevor Chalobah as that left-sided centre half. Reece in the right. Josh Acheampong in the centre because of Levi Colville's long-term ACL injury, and Tosin picking up a minor knock. Josh Acheampong has a really bright future ahead of him, and you've seen how highly he's rated amongst the club here. Chelsea trying to be on the front foot movement early on. We saw Manchester City and Liverpool set the pace already, so Chelsea cannot afford to drop points early on in the season. Here's Reece James finding João Pedro. Brilliant first touch from the Brazilian, who has settled in perfectly for Chelsea. I mean, he has fit in like a glove. 5 games, 5 goals. He scored in pretty much all of the preseason games. And in the Club World Cup, he was instrumental. I mean, straight from holiday into the Chelsea side. And now you see Chelsea with a different cutting edge going forward. Cucurella fouled, but referee plays on. Here's the exciting Jamie Gittins on debut for Chelsea. On the left-hand side, tries to go around the outside and wins Chelsea the first corner. Jamie Gittins up against Richards on that right-hand side for Crystal Palace. Well, Jamie Gittins, 50+ million pound move from Borussia Dortmund in the summer, really gives us that 1v1 burst on that left-hand side. He is a tricky winger, gives so many problems to the fullback. On this occasion, we will see Chris Richards for Crystal Palace defending in those wide areas, because Crystal Palace, like Chelsea, on the ball and off it, like to play with that back three. And then with the two wing backs, as James whips the ball in. The header is on target. It's cleared off the line. Excellent work on the defensive end there. And looks like it is Ismail Ashar. Reece James just clips the ball into an interesting area. The header is on target. It was just trickling in. Yep, it is Ismail Assar. Good header there. It seems like it's Cucurella who has found his goal-scoring touch, really. And Chelsea have the first shot. It was a looping header. It's another corner. A disappointing delivery this time. Has to be better. Here's Pedro Neto. We talked about Pedro Neto. His improvement towards the end of last season really highlighted with that goal against Fulham, making big plays. And now with a proper box forward who can finish off like a traditional number 9, you expect Pedro Neto's numbers to go up here. But he's more than just a numbers player. He's terrific off the ball. He really works hard for the team. And now we're starting to see his on-the-ball quality. Ball in on his left foot. It's Cuckoo's header again. Oh, it's pushed there, surely. I mean, there is a shove. It is really sunny on that part of the pitch there. It looked like it is Cole Palmer. What a ball that is by Crystal Palace on the break here. Palace so dangerous with Ebre Eze, Ismail Assar and Jean-Philippe Mateta as that front three. Here's Wharton and Will Hughes in that midfield pivot for Crystal Palace, and already a bite here for Crystal Palace. I really like their away kit here, Crystal Palace's. Once again on the ball, they've got their back three, their wing backs tucked in here. Mitchell and Munoz. Oh, Ebre Eze has gone for goal from distance. Well, Eze has been subject to a lot of transfer moves over the summer. Arsenal were interested, so now Spurs showing their interest. I mean, surely that's a foul there. I mean, look at Ismail Assar. He has no interest on the ball. The fact that he hasn't tugged Enzo Fernandez is the only reason why there wasn't a penalty, but it was needless, and there is an early head injury here. Well, Chelsea have just about 5 minutes played, haven't really threatened the Crystal Palace goal, but has been solid so far. Most important thing is to make sure that we have that defensive solidity, that base, to make sure that even if the game does go deep, and I fully expect this one to go the distance in terms of finding that opening goal, it won't be easy. And when the chances do arrive for Chelsea, we have to be clinical. But we talked about Oliver Glasner at kickoff. I mean, what a job he has done for Crystal Palace. Truly changed their lives. I follow Crystal Palace as my second team in the Premier League. And Roy Hodgson has always been their manager, and he has been solid, if not unspectacular. Kept Palace up for a long time, and fair play to him despite the absence of funds. But my goodness, Oliver Glasner has come in and given them one of the biggest facelifts. I mean, facelift is an understatement, really. It's changed the culture, the way that they play. They are so dangerous, especially when you play at Selhurst Park. I mean, that is one of the fixtures I do not look forward to in the season, because Crystal Palace away from home, especially under the lights. Oh, such a tough position. Again, Crystal Palace with the back three of Mark Gahey, Maxime Lacroix, and Chris Richards. Maxime Lacroix. Gotta nail the French accent on it. I think we need Gittins back on the pitch here. So does Richards. And so far, Chelsea have been just about measured in their approach. We haven't really grabbed hold of the ball and dictated the play here. Crystal Palace won't allow us with that fresh, really enthusiastic energy that they'll have. I mean, they came to the Bridge last season and they got that 1-1 draw where I remember Jackson opened the scoring after Cole Palmer squared it off, and Ebre Eze scored in the second half from distance, and it was a perler, really. It's a great switch out. Can Gittins bring it under control, but he chests it out of play. Again, sun beaming down at Stamford Bridge here. Jamie Gittins looking to make an impact on that left-hand side. We see a lot of transfer talk for Chelsea on that left-hand side. Of course, Javi Simmons has been coming under a lot of transfer scrutiny from RB Leipzig, and then, of course, Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United, because Enzo Maresca might feel that we are short on that left-hand side with only Jamie Gittins and our academy product, Tyreek George. There, George has shown that he can step in. Of course, his goal against Fulham was massive at the back end of last season. He started to get a bit more confidence from Enzo Maresca. We talked about the centre-back crisis. I mean, it isn't really, it's two sides of the coin, really, in terms of crisis, because Chelsea have a lot of defenders registered on their books. Even the ones that are not playing and not on the bench, and the fact that we have loaned a few. But Levi Colwill is such a unique profile in terms of being a left footer, and he's brilliant on the ball, and then of course his defensive work. So he ticks all those three boxes in a very unique sense, and the only natural replacement for Levi Colwill as that center of the three is Tosin Adebayo, who has picked up a calf knock. So good to see Josh Acheampong, who featured a lot under Enzo Maresca last season, especially in the Conference League and a few games in the Premier League too. Crystal Palace have a free kick here, so long stoppage as the ball into the box. Chelsea hold a long and high line. The headers towards goal. Sanchez, full stretch, and grazes that comfortably. Good work there by Sanchez, and quickly releases it. Chelsea looking to play quickly there. It's a rather aimless ball. I think that was Enzo Fernandez on his left foot too. Pointless ball there, really, from Enzo. Again, brilliant from Moises Caicedo. You see that Jean-Philippe Mateta has tried to go around the Ecuadorian. Absolutely no chance. Brilliant again from Caicedo, continuing from last season. He was head and shoulders our player of the season. Here's Pedro Neto, burst onto the right-hand side, finds Joao Pedro, lays it off onto the right, fluid from Chelsea. What a terrible ball that is. I think that's Enzo Fernandez again, and he has not started this game well here. The Chelsea vice captain, again, he's picking up those advanced positions like he does. I mean, he's got a tremendous engine, but two terrible balls here from Enzo. First on that left foot, and this time on his favoured right. Seeing the Crystal Palace free kick, it was into a dangerous area there, and Richards was on side. Didn't really see him trouble Rob Sanchez from there, but it'll count as a shot on target. Both teams having relatively tame efforts. Ismail Assar clearing one off the line after Cucurella's header off the corner, and then Chris Richards. So both the defenders with the afros and the long hairs really making the mark here as Josh Acheampong now on the ball, the number 34. Here's Chalobah. Again, Chalobah has Crystal Palace connections. He was on loan last season. Oh, he's given it away here, Acheampong. It's to the dangerous Eze too. Mateta allowed to turn. Caicedo on the cover. Munoz on the right-hand side. Good ball in. Cleared away. Oh, Chelsea reeling. Palmer helping out. Here's Eze. What a burst that is from Ebre Eze. Chelsea having to throw numbers at it. Cucurella with a heavy challenge. Chelsea managed to clear it. It's a late whistle from the referee there. But the ball had gone away from the action there. The referee takes an age to make the decision, but it is a free kick in dangerous territory for Crystal Palace here. 20 yards from goal. Cucurella's challenge was forceful, that's for sure. Now, whether or not he's gotten enough of the ball first here. Oh, it is a rash challenge there to Will Hughes is already going to ground there. You can see why the referee has made that call, but Marc Cucurella flying into the challenge there, and Crystal Palace in pretty decent territory here. Sanchez is a giant in goal. He is 6'6". You've seen him cover a lot of ground across goal now. This is where the danger is. It's Ebre Eze on his right foot. Pretty much in a central area here. He can go either direction to trouble Sanchez. Dangerous for Chelsea. It's more towards the left than it is centrally. So he might look to go this maybe up and over the wall. Difficult to try and find it on the side of Sanchez, that the wall has to be perfect here. Got decent height. Acheampong is massive. He's about 6'5". Chalobah 6 foot plus. João Pedro in the wall too. Ebre Eze has got a wry smile on his face. He is a confidence player. He's an absolute baller. That's who he is. This is hectic for Chelsea here. Not the best of starts. Crystal Palace looking for their first meaningful effort on goal here. It's Ebre Eze with a pretty big Chelsea wall here, and Rob Sanchez in goal. It's Eze! What a goal! He has drilled it past the wall, and Crystal Palace have the lead. Ebre Eze, take a bow, a screamer last season at the Bridge. He replicates it with something better. Sanchez beaten on his side, but he feels that the wall has parted here. It's a poor start here for Chelsea. Ebre Eze scores. Crystal Palace have the lead at the Bridge. Oh, it's a thunderbolt. He has hit that so hard. Ebre Eze, let's have a look at the wall here. Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez in the wall. Oh, it's gone over. It's right in the center. We can see there. I think it is Moises, or it is Jamie Gittins. No, it is Moises Caicedo, who has just moved out of the center. And Eze hits that and hits that true. Chelsea have to wake up here. Crystal Palace have the lead. They're looking at a possible offside here. Now, I don't see how this is offside because no one really is blocking Rob Sanchez and goal. Well, one of the players is blocking Sanchez on that side. It's poor from Sanchez, really. I mean, if this is bailed out from an offside goal, Chelsea get away with this one. But Sanchez, I mean, it's right at him. It's hit with pace, no doubt about it. And he's probably seen it late. But on that side, he has to do better. I mean, there was a lot of talk about Rob Sanchez, whether or not he's good enough to be Chelsea's number one. Towards the end of the season, like Pedro Neto, he did very well. And Chelsea get away with this one. Wow. I mean, absolutely shocking. I'll take it. I mean, He is given offside. I cannot believe it. Chelsea catch life. This is bailed out from an offside goal. Chelsea get away with this one, but Sanchez, I mean, it's right at him. Wow. That is a shocking call. I mean, he's maybe leaned into Caicedo, or one of the players might be offside, but Chelsea catch life. Wow. Oliver Glasner will be absolutely fuming with that, and rightfully so. I mean, offside of a free kick. I mean, the game's gone, but we'll take it. That is a warning sign. If there ever was for Chelsea. Have to wake up now. Poor ball. Why are we going long already here? I know Joao Pedro is good at holding the ball up, but Crystal Palace have got size and power in their back line. As I mentioned before, Lacroix, Richards and Gehi. This is a good carry here. And confident from Achampong. Nice to see him drive with the ball forward. Mentioned before that he is quite the unit in terms of size. He's only 19 years of age really, but he's playing well beyond his years. Chalobah with the ball forward. Again, I don't understand this long ball tactic here from Chelsea. We need to try and bypass this Crystal Palace press. And to be fair, they are pressing high up the pitch here. You can see once we enter the middle part of the pitch, there's really no time. They have to be those quick line-breaking passes. Chalobah on his right foot again could have wrapped that to Enzo Fernandez, who, to be fair, hasn't had the best of starts. The Crystal Palace will be feeling really hard done by. It's a stiff challenge there on Cucurella, but it's a fair one according to the referee. Yep, Rob Sanchez, never really straightforward with him in goal. That one should have been saved. I mean, again, I mentioned it was hit with power. It was hit from close range. I take that into consideration, but it's right at you, man. Have to do better. I mean, every time some confidence builds for Rob Sanchez, something foolish happens. Here's Chalobah. That's the line breaker, but it's not to Caicedo's feet. Caicedo, brilliant challenge there. Magnificent from Caicedo. Chalobah's pass has to be better because it is at Caicedo who has to turn first time. It wasn't accurate. We got caught on the ball, but it's Caicedo who comes across and makes the challenge. Chelsea, once again, about 17 minutes on the clock. Haven't been good here. Again, the progression of the ball hasn't been fluid. Palmer's dropping well into our own half here. Gittins gives the ball away again. Too many turnovers. Chalobah on the cover. Well, it's brilliant again. It's Chalobah and Caicedo, both with slight challenges here. Again, Chelsea not getting to grips with the game so far. Struggling to build with the ball and committing rather far too many turnovers with the ball. Good press again, forcing Crystal Palace back. Again, we have to be better with the ball. Caicedo bites into the challenge and they play around him here. What a pass. Mateta, brilliant save. Well, Adam Wharton's pass is magnificent. Mateta takes it first time. Good touch. Hits it on target. This time it's better from Sanchez, but again it's straight at him. Crystal Palace are creating threatening moments time after time. What a pass this is from Adam Wharton. Look at this. Plays the 1-2. Picks his head up. Inch perfect. The first touch is good from Mateta. Gets it out of his feet. And it's a good, powerful drive. Chelsea have gotten more than enough warning signs already here. This has not been a good first half. Into the 20th minute again, there's just lacking a bit of that cohesiveness and team chemistry that's good as brilliant from Pedro Neto. Driving with the balls. Now Gittins has to take on this man for the first time. Cucurella on the overlap. Gittins hasn't really started the game well here. He's just playing a bit timid so far. Has to take on the man there. Here's Caicedo. Chalobah. Achampong. Reece James, all the Chelsea defenders in the Palace half here. This is much better in terms of sustained possession. And now Chelsea need to break this low block. Chalobah. Gittins, who was brought for that 1v1 ability on the touchline on that left-hand side. Have to see more of that as the game goes on. Again, Palace pressing very well in their mid-block here. So well organized off the ball here. Oliver Glasner, I mean, every time you watch him coach a team, brilliant. Again, this is difficult. Very difficult for Chelsea. Fully expected that Crystal Palace would give us a game, and they are giving us a fight. Say, over 20 minutes on the clock, Crystal Palace would have felt that they've had an opportunity, a free kick, very harshly overturned. And then that effort from Jean-Philippe Mateta. Good play here. Palmer to Pedro. Here's Gittins. Again, lays it off though. He's not going on the byline. Palmer goes for the clip. Well, it's audacious from Cole Palmer. First real shot in anger for Chelsea. Mark Gay is happy to see Cole Palmer just lift that over the crossbar. You see that it was Gay. He was offside there. It was such a harsh decision. Interfering in the eye line of Rob Sanchez, sure, but the more you look at it, the more you see how much life he got, because you see that he has made the run across. Sanchez has a clear view. It is such a harsh decision, and the more I look at it, the harsh it looks. I mean, it's unfortunate. Mark Gay, he cannot believe it, but he'll have to swallow that decision. Chelsea haven't really woken up here. And we talked about the good form towards the end of the season. The Club World Cup going near perfect there. Except a loss to Flamengo, was it? Where we lost 3-1. Lost our collective heads in that game after Nico Jackson picked up a red card. But other than that, in the league, only Newcastle beating us. Since then, Chelsea have been pretty much spotless. Here's Joao Pedro. Very good layoff there. Identifying the space so cleverly. It's Pedro Neto. It's a disappointing shot from distance. Chelsea restricted here. I'm seeing Enzo Fernandez laying the ball on his left foot quite a bit of times here. Gives it to Pedro Neto rather. It takes a clip off Adam Wharton. It's a corner for Chelsea. This is the third one for us. The deliveries, the first one was good. Second one was so-so. This time the skipper comes across to take this one. Reece James. Yet to be really tested defensively, and offensively we know that he doesn't really play on that touchline anymore. Chelsea looking to conserve him, and this is the longest spell that Reece has gone without an injury, and long may that continue. Reece's ball into the box, and it's a threatening header, but over the crossbar again for a goal kick. Maxence Lacroix just makes the shift across. He's prototype defender, isn't he, in terms of a centre half. He's got everything that you want. He is rapid across the pitch. He's got a very good leap, and he can play out from the back. So he's got all those facets covered. If I'm not mistaken, he was a signing from Wolfsburg in Germany. I might be wrong on that one. Again, it's Caicedo helping out, but it's just being overrun so far. Chelsea committing and really conceding needless free kicks here. It's Reece James this time who commits the foul. Again, Caicedo wins the first ball, but he is outnumbered there. Yep, Reece comes across, makes the challenge there on Ismail Assar, and it's a free kick. And Reece picks up a yellow card too. It is so needless. Well, halfway through the first half, and Crystal Palace will feel that they deserve to be ahead, and Chelsea cannot have complaints. Hasn't been a fluid first half. We haven't played well. We know off the bench we have options with the likes of Estevao and Liam Delap in terms of an attacking sense. Andre Santos is an option for a goal-scoring midfielder, because I don't see that Dario Esugo will see minutes today because of Moises Caicedo will certainly play 90 minutes. Free kick here for Palace. Taken shots, a quickly taken one. It's Eze from distance. Sanchez comfortably takes that, and Quick release down the left-hand side here. Chelsea playing old-school football, and it works. Pedro Neto, brilliant. Gets the ball across, but it's good defending. Comes across. Route 1 football, extremely effective for Chelsea. Pedro Neto urging the crowd to make some noise here. Brilliant run here from the Portuguese. It's a long ball forward, extremely accurate. Takes it down on his chest, and if he plays it across to Joao Pedro, who was totally unmarked, Chelsea might have scored on the break there. 5 corners for Chelsea, none for Crystal Palace. Yet to really make a mark with the set pieces. Reece's delivery has to be better here. Achimpong has got size and presence. Better delivery, flashes across. Crystal Palace get away with that one. Brilliant work there on the slide. To get a shot away was excellent there. Reece James's delivery is disappointing. Palace clear here. Caicedo's header. Good strength shown there. And the foul given. I cannot believe that one. It is a loose. Such a loose foul given. Jamie Gittins up against Will Hughes there. Hughes going over theatrically. Gittins commits the foul. Over 25 minutes played. Crystal Palace yet to really face the Chelsea fury so far. I know that Chelsea do improve as the game goes on. Have shown that we do get stronger. We cannot underestimate Crystal Palace. They've shown more than on a couple of occasions that they are capable of scoring goals. That Jean-Philippe Mateta chance is the best one that they have in terms of pure creation. And as soon as Adam Wharton has the ball, one of Cucurella or Moises Caicedo has to snap into the challenge, not allow him to turn and pick the pass. Palace again very comfortable on the ball here. Here's Tyreek Mitchell. Will Hughes finds Maxence Lacroix to Richards. And again, Chelsea happy to press here, but Palace looking to play out of it. They've done very well to play. Look at this. Eze dropping deep. So comfortable. Crystal Palace on the ball. Again, good press here from Chelsea. The work off the ball has been very good. Crystal Palace have had to play some excellent football to get the better of Chelsea. Ooh, that's Cucurella taking a sore one from Munoz rather, and he might pick up a yellow card here. Yep, Munoz picks up the yellow card. Cucurella is extremely brave here. He knows he's going to get clattered. It's in the air. He goes to head it. He knows the late challenge is coming, and he draws a yellow card. So both right-sided defenders, first for Chelsea and for Palace, now get booked. Reece James and Munoz. Cucurella does very well to get back onto his feet here. It's sore because he's in an angle and he comes across and clatters him towards the side of the head. Good to see the friendly exchange there from Munoz and Cucurella. Again, Chelsea on the ball, similar to Crystal Palace. You can see the width for Chelsea being provided by the two wingers here in Gittins and Pedro Neto. And then we have that box of Cucurella, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer. And you want to see that box. It's not really there. Now Cucurella drops in as that fulcrum. And it's the Crystal Palace's work off the ball is very good to see here. You can see they're trying to make sure that the supply to Cole Palmer is being cut out as much as possible. You can see Adam Wharton, who just shifts across there to make sure that Reece James can't fizz that between the lines. Again, very good work here from Palace. Commendable from Oliver Glasner, who's picked up some big scalps in his short tenure as Crystal Palace boss. And Enzo Maresca knows that he's got a challenge on his hands here. Give away in midfield now. Cucurella driving with the ball. Good first touch there from Palmer. Feeds it to Jamie Gittins. Lays it off. Can he get the first touch there? Joao Pedro, good block. Can he get the follow-up here? It's Caicedo. Has it gotten a deflection? Don't think it has. Chelsea being a lot more forceful here. Forcing errors of Crystal Palace. That's a good pass there from Palmer into the path of Gittins. Just feeds a clever pass to Cucurella, who couldn't bring that under control. Found its way to Joao Pedro, who's Trying to get his shooting boots on here. Here's Pedro Neto. Goes around the outside. Brilliant again. Clips it into the box. Chance there. Oh, what a ball that is from Pedro Neto. Gittins, can he do the same on the left-hand side here? Gittins. Again, goes on the inside. It's a tame effort. Challenge. Oh, what a chance. It looked like Trevor Chalobah, and he's convinced that there was a block there. Surely that was because it was Chalobah who got a shot in. Good work here from Gittins. It was blocked. Oh, surely that is a big block there. Big block, surely. It falls kindly. Oh, Chalobah. Having got the ricochet. Oh, no, that's not a foul. That's not a corner, really. Chalobah was hoping and really spared his blushes because that was Chelsea's best chance, really. It comes off a ricochet. Get away with that one there. 30 minutes on the clock here. Palace continue to battle. Here's Palmer. Can't bring the ball under control. Richards trying to get the ball on the outside here. Here's Lacroix. Better from Chelsea, but again Palace bypass the press very well. You cannot help but just applaud here. Wharton lays it off to Mateta. Here's Jean-Philippe Mateta. Lays it off. Clip pass. Well defended there by Chalobah. Well, he vacated that side of the pitch and he had to get the header spot on, and he did. Ooh, Reece James on a yellow card. That is very strong there from the skipper. Lays it off. Enzo Fernandez. Keep the ball here, Enzo. Has to be an accurate pass. Enzo trips over his own feet. Oh my goodness. Enzo is having an absolute stinker. 30 minutes. Enzo Fernandez has not played well. He has not made the right decisions. He has not found accurate passes. Well, if it is ring rust, as they call it, wouldn't be the worst idea to maybe introduce Andre Santos into the second half and Enzo Fernandez gets the rest of the time off here because can't really be carrying poor performances. Maresca doesn't really panic in terms of changes, and he won't with the scoreline, but he would have identified that the problems are there. That's brilliant again from Mateta up against Achumpong. Outstanding from Josh. Oh, superb. Two massive challenges there from Josh Achumpong. Well, it's not easy dealing against Jean-Philippe Mateta. He got the first battle there. Oh, what a slight challenge there from Josh Achumpong, and then shows his recovery pace to get up there and beat Mateta and nick the ball forward and draws the yellow card off the French striker. Outstanding from Josh. Well, it is a back three of complete Cobham graduates for Chelsea. Academy players shining on the world stage here. Reece James, Trevor Chalobah and Josh Achumpong keeping the clean sheet so far, and that challenge from Josh will give him a lot of confidence. But of course, the main event is after this game. Manchester United playing host to Arsenal. What a firecracker of a game that is going to be. Match week 1 throws up a clash that could literally send either fan base into an absolute meltdown if the game doesn't go in their favor. Completely new front line for Manchester United. Oh my goodness, that throw in from Cucurella pretty much sums up that first half for Chelsea. 10 minutes remain and it's been poor from Chelsea, really. Enzo Maresca trying to applaud and motivate the team, but he'll need a lot more. We need quality. Enzo Fernandez has to fix up. On the ball, it feels like we're playing with 10 men here. Good pass there from Cucurella. Caicedo dropping between the centre halves to try and affect the build-up here. Here's Fernandez. Now dropping a lot deeper here, Enzo Fernandez. Might see him as that pivot player a lot more. Again, Palace very organised. Cucurella bites into the challenge. Very well done there from Cucu. Joao Pedro with a bit of sauce there. He's been bundled over the ball and the foul has been given. Palace cannot believe it. It's a foul and we'll take it, but from Palace's reaction, it feels that Joao Pedro might have just bought this free kick here. It's clever from him. He's going away from goal and he's just waiting for a bit of contact, and Lacroix just stiff arms him. Joao Pedro tumbles and Chelsea have a free kick here. Decent position. Glasner will feel that he's been shafted by the referees and VAR in the first half. Pedro Neto and Reece James, left and right foot option here for Chelsea. Hasn't worked in open play for Chelsea, so maybe set pieces might help here. Seen a good defensive performance from Achumpong already. Can he get his head to this? It's Pedro Neto, sweeps it in, cleared away with ease, and Palace hooked that as Chelsea look to build up again. Again, Chelsea lackluster in this first half, really. Clip pass, very accurate here to Cucurella, who is onside. He's got the overlap. It's a clever turn there from Pedro Neto. Another corner for Chelsea. Again, Maxence Lacroix just comes across, makes the challenge. He's had a faultless game so far, the Frenchman. And Chelsea were after Dean Huijsen from Bournemouth. The start of the window, he eventually went to Real Madrid, and fair play to him. But Chelsea, on that right-hand side, probably looking at somewhat of the profile of Maxence Lacroix. Good player, very good player. Every time I've seen him, impressive, comfortable playing in the centre. Again, because we have Levi Colwill there. He has been a mainstay for Enzo Maresca and Chelsea. Levi Colwill, that's why that injury to him, and an ACL injury too. I mean, it is a huge dent to Chelsea's real potential to attack the title from the get-go. We have to cope. We have numbers, as I mentioned before, but the profile of Levi is unique. No, it's absolutely brilliant, man. There's 100 views on my stream. This is just great. Thank you for all your support. Really does mean a lot here as I watch the stress that Chelsea provide me with here. Here's Achumpong. Well, once again, Palace forcing us back. Really, at this point, we're hoping that Palace's gas tank will be challenged towards the second half and Chelsea get better. Pretty sure that we will see Esteva on that right-hand side at some point in the second half. Here's Achumpong. Enzo Fernandez. Reece James back to Fernandez, captain and vice-captain. Enzo tripping over the ball. Is he drunk? My goodness. Under no pressure, really. Oh, and talk about no pressure, giving it away. Chalobah does the same. Oh, and he lunges forward and wins the ball cleanly. It's a good challenge, but Crystal Palace still have the ball. That's a brilliant spread there from Adam Wharton. What a first touch that is from Ebre Eze. Oh, Reece James has made the challenge, and Reece is on a yellow card. Eze has done Reece there. And the referee, he will take a lenient approach, and oh man, we are so lucky. It's a good ball this from Eze. I mean, Wharton really. Eze has to watch the ball over his shoulder. He brings it down like an absolute maestro. Nutmegs Reece. Now, he's not gone around Reece yet, and Reece hasn't really put his arm across. It is a foul, but look, let's have a look here. Reece has just turned. He's not made a move, if you know what I mean. So, I can see why that's not a yellow card, but the fact that Reece was taken out of the picture makes it dangerous. And another fact that it was on the touchline, really, but it's another free kick for Crystal Palace. Again, these are dangerous territories, really. Ball into the box. Oh, there's a chance. Well, Maxence Lacroix is unmarked. He cannot get his shot away. It's on the volley. It's a tricky one. Might have just beaten the offside trap here. He's made the late run. Doesn't get the sufficient contact, really. João Pedro loses the man. Doesn't get any contact. Chelsea get away with yet another set-piece situation. Oh, Caicedo with a blind pass backwards. It's cleared away by Achumpong. Good work there from João Pedro, making himself a nuisance. Here's Palmer now, trying to affect the game in the final third. Here's Pedro Neto. Keeps it short. Reece James. Enzo Fernandez. Channel ball here to João Pedro. This is better from Enzo. Lays it off to Pedro Neto. Thought about the cross. Again, no run being made here. Reece, first time ball into the box. Brilliant ball in. It's almost fullback to fullback. There's Cucurella makes the run into the box. Here's Acheampong. Better this from Chelsea. Sustained period of possession in the Crystal Palace half. Oh my goodness, Reece. What a poor pass. Look at Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's an absolute beast. Hold up play 101. We've seen that by Didier Drogba, Diego Costa on this hallowed turf, and Jean-Philippe Mateta is giving a really good tribute act. Again, very calm on the ball here, Palace, but Chelsea win it here. Here's Enzo. Finally gets a good pass here to Cucurella. Driving from the left-hand side half space. Here's Palmer. Again, we need the Stamford Bridge crowd to help Chelsea out here towards the last 5 minutes. It has been passive. It hasn't been the most fluid that you would hope that Chelsea to be on the first day of the season, but it is going to be a grind, and we fully expected that to be the case. Oh, we lose the ball again. Crystal Palace pinched the ball, but good work. Excellent from Pedro Neto. Gets up quickly, bites into the challenge, wins the ball cleanly. Here's Acheampong. Trevor Chalobah filling in that left-sided centre-half role. We do have Jorel Hato, who is more of a natural left-sided centre-half. The Ajax captain, 19-year-old. 5 caps for Netherlands already. Incredible. Captain for your club at 19 is really special. Seen a few tweets on X about Ajax fans being absolutely gutted losing their skipper. Good work there from Cucurella. Reece James comes across. Well, Acheampong really. Acheampong physically has looked good. He has been challenged with the power of Jean-Philippe Mateta and the trickery of Eze and Ismail Assar. So good to see that he has passed the test on a couple of occasions. If you look at the stats, it looks like Chelsea have dominated proceedings. It really isn't the case. Have 70% of the ball and 9 attempts, but Crystal Palace definitely deserve the lead. And I always keep it a buck here. What a touch that is from Palmer, but second one gets away. Nice layoff. Palmer again, his first touch is special, but second touch not as good. Well, 2.5 minutes left in this first half. Here's Enzo Fernandez on the turn, driving Chelsea forward. Oh my goodness, Enzo Fernandez! The passing has been absolutely wretched. I don't know how many free passes he gets. Yes, he's looking to fizz that forward, but it's poor, man. Jamie Gittins as well. He's a candidate who might just be subbed off. Let's see, Estevao and Andre Santos, the true Brazilians. What a brilliant switch out that is, but Pedro Neto can't keep that in play here. You can see the disappointment there from Chelsea. Hasn't been the best of first halves, and yeah, you fully expected that to be the case. Tyrick Mitchell has had a pretty good game against Pedro Neto, because you know Neto can go both ways in terms of the byline, where you can just clip it on his right foot or on his left, just float that towards the fast stick. So he's got both types of crosses in his locker, but he's done well to limit number of opportunities. I mentioned before the changes that Enzo Maresca can make. Liam Delap, of course, more of a focal point. And the two Brazilians in Andre Santos and Estevao, maybe to change it. This is where Enzo Maresca might have to be brave here. It's the first game of the season. Everybody's just trying to get their way back in here. Good ball there from Caicedo. Pedro Neto can't bring that under control. And Caicedo, superb again. I think Eze has just been one of the best players on the pitch. He's been bundled over. Good pass on the outside of his boot. Jamie Gittins helps out defensively. Still needs to make the effort though, Jamie. Have to go a lot faster. And Jean-Philippe Mateta has had a more impactful game as a number 9 for Crystal Palace in this first half, that's for sure. Dean Henderson has had very little to do in the first half, and that is something that Chelsea will have to rectify in the first half. In the second half, rather. Adam Wharton finds Chris Richards. In the second half, you might just see Pedro Neto on the left-hand side, and which might bring Estiva on the right. We want to see Andre Santos and Estiva combining together, but Crystal Palace are the ones combining here beautifully through the gears on the left-hand side. Ball into the boxes. Disappointing there from Tyrick Mitchell. It's a goal kick for Chelsea, but again it's Crystal Palace who keep making the inroads here. 4 minutes of stoppage time signalled, and Chelsea will want the half-time whistle. That's for sure. I mean, it hasn't gone according to plan whatsoever. No real control in midfield. Crystal Palace have created the chances. Should have been 1-0 up after that Eze free kick. Instead, Chelsea remain in the game, and this is where Enzo Maresca will have to show his coaching chops, his managerial skills. And a ball into the channel. João Pedro is somehow onside, and he manages to bring the ball under control. Excellent centre forward play here. Gittins. Again, Gittins looks a bit passive, doesn't he? Oh, Caicedo's clumsy on the ball. It's Mateta. It's a good pass. Sanchez comes a long way out, and he sweeps very nicely. Almost finding an accurate pass. Pedro Neto comes across and helps out. Chelsea have the ball again. The two midfielders for Chelsea not in their best of forms in this first half. And we talked about bravery by Enzo Maresca, and that is something that he will have to do in terms of changes. Hasn't been working in this first half. Can change in the second. Crystal Palace have no real reason to fear Chelsea so far. That's a beautiful switch there. First time ball into the box by Pedro Neto is cleared away. What a pass that was from Chalobah. It's Palmer sat up nicely. Cucurella with the shot. Well over. Chelsea starting to threaten with shots right towards the end. What a pass this is from Trevor Chalobah. Pings that to Pedro Neto, who's made the run. First time ball on his right foot. Cleared away. Palmer could have had the opportunity. Brings it down so well. One fluid motion on his left foot. But the shot was very well blocked. Achumpong has lost the header there, but Chalobah bails him out. About 90 seconds remain in this first half, and as I mentioned before, I don't think Palace would want the half-time whistle. Chelsea will be, and Enzo Maresca will be laying into the players. This is not the standards of the world champions. Ball into the box, well cleared. It's Caicedo who comes across. Makes a good challenge. As I mentioned before, Chelsea's prestige and shine improving, not just after the Conference League win, but going to the Club World Cup. And no one really expected Chelsea to make ripples, but they put on a performance of a lifetime against Paris Saint-Germain in the final, keeping a clean sheet, scoring 3 goals against the European champions. Terrific performance from Chelsea that afternoon at the MetLife Stadium, as that is a decent and long memory. There's the throw in, has been troubled. Sanchez flaps. Chelsea somehow managed to clear here. Eze on the acrobatics. Shot on the left foot. Goes wide. Well, it's Crystal Palace now having what looks like the final shot of the first half here. Ooh, Sanchez has missed the ball, and if he hasn't, I think he's got a huge chunk of Mark Gay's side of the head and the ball. So, from that angle, it looks very, very dicey. Sanchez, to his credit, comes there, tries to clean out. Good goalkeeping there from Rob Sanchez. Trying to take the pressure off. He is a huge unit in goal there. As I mentioned before, he is 6-6. So the knock on the side of the head and for Mark Yehi, and that just might be that to end the first half here at Stamford Bridge. 0-0 the scoreline. Well, Ebre Eze thought surely that he would have scored in the first half. What is that? The 13th minute where he took the free kick. It arrowed into the corner. Wasn't even in the corner really. It was right at Sanchez, who was beaten by pure pace. That was ruled out for offside on Mark Gehi. Since then, Crystal Palace created the best opportunity in that first half. Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's created all sorts of problems for Chelsea after a brilliant pick out by Adam Wharton. Will Chelsea go into the halftime break at 0-0, and that's pretty much the best case scenario here for us. Hasn't been a good performance, but there's plenty of opportunities and chances to influence the game off the bench, and that is the critical part. Have to use the squad depth that we have. Well, obvious changes for Chelsea. Looks like Jamie Gittins might be one that might suffer. In terms of problems, I think on the ball, we are forced to go wide because Crystal Palace have pretty much boxed in. They've gone box for box, if you know what I mean. Chelsea's build-up play in Caicedo, Cucurella, Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez in that box is being nullified by Crystal Palace. They're almost playing 1v1 in their box of their own because they've got Will Hughes, Adam Wharton, Ebre Eze and Ismail Assar, who are not playing as touchline wingers. They are playing as inside forwards. So they have controlled that area of the pitch very well. They're not allowing Chelsea to get the ball in those dangerous situations, really, to find Palmer between the lines. So we are struggling to really create. And on the wing, really, when we do put the ball into the box, Crystal Palace have got size and presence in abundance. We only really have Joao Pedro and maybe Enzo Fernandez making the late run into the box when you're looking to attack the ball into the box. So maybe we might see someone like Liam Delap introduced at some point in the second half. A bit more of a traditional box presence from the English striker. Well, Palace will feel that this has been pretty much their perfect first half in terms of a tough first game here up against Chelsea. Chelsea would have been full of confidence going into this game, knowing that good run of form, the last loss in the Premier League being in March against Newcastle. Since then, it's been a lot of wins, a lot of commanding wins, good performances. But now it's when the expectations on us, the pressure will be on us from game week 1. Last season, when Chelsea were second, just a couple of points away from Liverpool at the top, there was no real expectations, and then you saw Enzo Maresca pretty much taking off that pressure by saying that Chelsea are nowhere near ready to compete, and then we had that massive fall off where for 2 months we could not buy a win. Oh, there is another game going on in the Premier League. I must have a look as to... It was Nottingham Forest versus... I don't remember. Let's see what's happening there. It's been goalless at Stamford Bridge. Ooh, Forest are 3-0 up against Brentford. Chris Wood has a brace and Endoy has one. 5th minute, 42nd and 45th. Superb from Crystal. Nottingham Forest, really. Not the start that they were looking for. But you're seeing that Chelsea have struggled. They really have struggled, and we need that second half to be a lot more solid. We have to be better. Does Enzo Maresca be brave and make the changes? I want to see whether or not he is, because let's be honest here. There's no mincing of words. Enzo Fernandez had a shocker. I mean, 2 out of 10 performance. Absolutely poor. He absolutely should come off. I don't think he will because of the seniority and now his status and the stature at the club. He might get 60 minutes if he doesn't really shape up. And then you're looking at Andre Santos maybe coming in. Need to get Cole Palmer on the ball a lot more. If he's struggling to find space in the central areas, maybe play him on that right-hand side in the pocket of space. May have a lot more joy here. So we'll wait and see whether or not Enzo Maresca pulls the plug in terms of changes. Half time, 0-0. No real time for panic for Chelsea. Well, we should be all but set for the start of the second half. I really hope that Enzo Maresca has given an absolute rocket to the players. Changes at halftime, critical for Chelsea. We have to make changes. Because if we let this continue, we're just allowing Crystal Palace back into the game here. And the longer it goes on, it just feels that Crystal Palace, they'll just feel that if they get a goal, they can nick something off here of us. Definitely get a positive result against Chelsea at the opening day here. They got a draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge last season and now looking to do the same or go one better. Now we talked about the other game as well. Nottingham Forest 3-0 up against Brentford. Brentford absolutely decimated in the summer window. They lost their manager to Spurs. They lost Mbuemo to Manchester United. Johan Wissa has been subject to a lot of transfer talk. He might go to Newcastle, might stay. They lost Christian Noga to Arsenal. So a lot of changes has been made. And speaking of changes, it doesn't look like Enzo Maresca has made any change himself here. All 11 players that started the first half take the pitch here for the second. Interesting, very interesting from Enzo Maresca. Hoping for a change of direction here. Cole Palmer hasn't been influential in that first half. They have shut him down very impressively in that first half. Chelsea need to move the ball a lot more quicker between the lines. Look to play around the Palace defenders. Have to be a lot more clever, a lot more cuter in those areas. Oliver Glasner would have been very, very pleased with that first half. I mean, it went as perfectly as he could have hoped for. Jean-Philippe Mateta has been a handful, and fair play to Josh Achumpong on his first big start this season. Keeping that clean sheet so far, but he'll know in the second half where physical capacity will play a huge part in the game, that's for sure. Ebereze came the closest in that first half to score that goal. Instead, it was chalked off as Mark Gahey was adjudged as offside, as we're all but set for the start of the second half here. Crystal Palace have absolutely no reason to fear Chelsea here. They have not just matched Chelsea, but on occasions outplayed the Blues. So they can go out there and play with the confidence in the second half here, that's for sure. It's going to be a hectic second half here as we see the two Brazilians in Andre Santos and Estevão Willian on the bench. Sure, we will see Estevão at some point in the second half as Crystal Palace begin the second half here. Immediately trying to push Chelsea back into their positions. And this is where Crystal Palace will look to try and work the ball quickly around the Chelsea back three here. And Jamie Gittins will have to show a lot more down that left-hand side for Chelsea. Wasn't looking to take too many chances. Didn't look to take his man on as much as he could. Now we need to see those driving runs into the box and João Pedro making those number 9 runs into the box. Here's Reece James who has floated the ball into the channel. Pedro Neto picks up the loose ball. Again, very well touched aside. Enzo Fernandez playing with a lot more intensity. And Enzo Fernandez has gotten I'm pretty sure, a huge kick up the backside because of that first half performance. Enzo Maresca would have surely told him that that was not acceptable, and he's immediately there on the slide trying to help out off the ball. Gittins doing the same here for Chelsea. Here's Moises Caicedo. Again, a few decent moments for last year's Player of the Year for Chelsea. Moises Caicedo did score in the Conference League final against Real Betis, the fourth goal of the 4-1 thrashing of the Spanish side. Here's Achumpong, excellent carry again, but doesn't decide to play the ball between the lines. Instead it's Chalobah. Jurel Hato is an option for us as that left-sided centre-half if Chelsea just start to struggle building up on that left-hand side. Here's Palmer now playing as a winger almost. If you see Palmer drifting towards the right-hand side, we will see Pedro Neto playing as a inside forward on those occasions. He is lethal with his shots. Ooh, there's a heavy challenge there on Joao Pedro. Referee has not spotted that as a foul. Maxence Lacroix comes across, makes a firm challenge on the Brazilian. Joao Pedro yet to have a real meaningful contribution to the game so far. Second half is still young. Has to make sure that he gets a couple of shots on goal. Again, Mateta, very good. Achimpong showing his strength there. Goes shoulder to shoulder against the Frenchman. Lacroix is just trying to hold his shoulder there. Just see whether or not he landed awkwardly. I don't think he's landed. It must be a contact injury for Maxence Lacroix. Seems okay to continue though. And again, Chelsea yet to really threaten Dean Henderson in goal, and that has to change going into the second half here. Again, does Enzo Maresca make the statement with the early sub here? Might even decide to give 5 minutes to the 11 here before he looks to chop and change things. Again, it's a long ball here to Joao Pedro. Doesn't really help, but he pick up the second and the third ball. Brilliant from Caicedo. What a touch. It's surely a foul and a yellow card there for Will Hughes. That is magnificent from Caicedo. That is much better from the Ecuadorian. Immaculate ball control there to bring this ball down under pressure. Look at that, just breezes past Will Hughes. Hughes has to bring him down and picks up the yellow card. The Crystal Palace do have a few options in that number 8 role that Will Hughes plays in. Adam Wharton can always drop deep in that number 6 position. They've got Jefferson Lerma as one of the options. That's a good switch out there. Again, asking a lot from Pedro Neto. Chelsea have to be a lot more deliberate in their build-up play here. Long balls to Pedro Neto and Joao Pedro not working so far. The longer this goes on, the crowd will start to feel a lot more anxious. Tyrick Mitchell with the throw-in. Chelsea win the ball high up the pitch here. Here's Palmer. Again, thought about the cross on his right foot. Looks to float that in. Deflection. Nope, deflection. It's a goal kick. Palmer in that right-hand side half space. Looking to create a bit of menace here to the Crystal Palace defense. Pick up that spot between the left-sided centre half in Mark Gahey and Tyrick Mitchell, the left wing-back. Again, Caicedo comes across and wins the ball. He started to win a lot more of the challenges here, Moises Caicedo. You can see why Chelsea are looking to sign Xavi Simons, don't you? As those players who can play between the lines. It's another long ball here. It's Cucurella who tries to charge in to win the second ball. Instead, Palace deal with it. Again, Palace are matching us physically here. They are taking advantage. What a first touch that is from Mateta, and he cannot lay that off to Eze. Good touch there from Jean-Philippe Mateta, who just lays it off to Ismail Assar. Tried to just curl that into the path of Ebre Eze, but had too much on it. 5 minutes into the second half, Crystal Palace once again looking comfortable here. Here's Reece. Yep, Estevao Willian warming up immediately here to the applause of the Stamford Bridge faithful here. Very curious to see anybody else warming up here, because Estevao by himself, I mean, he is an enigma. He is a dynamo, but can't do it by himself. Love to see someone like Andre Santos. Again, Enzo Fernandez does not help himself here. On the left-hand side is Tyrick Mitchell. Pedro Neto helps out defensively. It's a decent ball in. Chalobah comes across. Good clearance there. Trevor Chalobah makes sure that he made that tracking run there. Wasn't caught. Again on the ball here, Chelsea in the back four. Pedro Neto helping out as that right winger. Good first time ball there from Tyrick Mitchell. Decided against carrying the ball a bit further. Again, Chelsea struggling here. Enzo Maresca. We need to see the bravery. We need to see those changes. Again, Joao Pedro allows the ball to bounce. It's unfortunate. Oh, it's a foul there by Jamie Gittins. Gittins cannot believe it, but he feels he was wrongly judged as a foul, but the referee feels that there was an elbow across on Munoz. Yep, clear foul there by Jamie Gittins. Gittins down that left-hand side, yet to really make an impact for Chelsea. His first start in the Premier League. Can we win the ball here? Pedro Neto lays it off. Enzo Fernandez does the wise thing, plays it short to Palmer. Palmer's playing as that left-sided number 10. It's a heavy ball here for Gittins, but who does well to recover it. Here's Cucurella. Chalobah. Moises Caicedo. Now Reece James. Better from Chelsea. Here's Pedro Neto. Again, Palace have everyone behind the ball here. Reece James again. Again, having to drag the ball is Josh Achimpong. Chelsea forcing Crystal Palace into the deep block here. Palace have everyone behind the ball. Trevor Chalobah trying to thread that through the eye of the needle. Here's Caicedo. Keeps it short. Achimpong driving again with the ball. His pass is not accurate as Reece James has to recover. Can Chelsea force back here, and it is working perfectly here for Crystal Palace. Palmer thought about the floated ball. Instead, it's another heavy pass here for Jamie Gittins, not on the same wavelength. The two English internationals. Here's Palmer again. Goes on the outside. Brilliant acceleration from Palmer. Good ball in. Henderson beats that away. Reece James shows his power there to try and recover the ball, but this header goes out of touch for a throw in. Good work there from Dean Henderson. Cole Palmer's acceleration is deceptive. You can see how quickly he turns it around, and the huge applause here is for the number 41. Estevao Willian makes his Premier League and Stamford Bridge debut. It is Jamie Gittins who comes off 10 minutes into the second half. We might see, or we definitely will see, Pedro Neto now on the left-hand side and Gittins on, and Estevao rather on the right. Disappointed that Maresca hasn't made another change. Maybe likes of Andres Santos or Jarell Hato might have worked for us, but instead he goes with the tried and tested, and then with a bit of Brazilian magic in Estevao Willian. Again, Estevao on the right-hand side. And we saw Cole Palmer play as that left-sided number 10. I'll be very interested to see whether or not he shifts to the right-hand side now, because we saw in the match against Bayer Leverkusen where Palmer and Estevao were finding each other with telepathic ease. Love to see that continue. Enzo Fernandez with a beautiful switch out, but far too much on it. Poor from Enzo Fernandez as Caicedo's hit the ground there. Uncomfortable for the Ecuadorian who's holding his shin there. Let's have a look. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta who's just raked down the shin / ankle of Moises Caicedo. It's on the top of his boot. It's a sore one for the Ecuadorian. Jean-Philippe Mateta might just escape the yellow card because of the lack of force on the challenge, but still enough to make it painful for Moises Caicedo. Reece James, remember, on a yellow card. He was done on one occasion in the second half where Ebreze brought the ball down beautifully and then nutmegged the skipper. Well, Chelsea have prevented shots on goal in the second half, but conversely haven't tested Dean Henderson as much. Palmer flashed the ball across goal just the one time really in the second half so far, so plenty of room for improvement here, and we really are hoping that Estevao Willian can make an impact off the bench. Good pass there from Dean Henderson, headed down. Caicedo wins the ball back. Here's Estevao for the first time. Brilliant drive already here from the Brazilian. Goes around the outside. Outstanding from Estevao. Cut back on his right foot. Flashed across goal. Oh, nearly. What an impact that was from Estevao. He puts the pace on it on his right foot. It looked like it was João Pedro who had to get up there in an awkward height. Or was it Pedro Neto? Let's have a look here. Superb from Estevao Willian. Look at this. Direct. First time. That's his immediate reaction, is to drive into the box, takes an extra touch, puts that across goal. Yep, it's Pedro Neto, not known for his heading capabilities. What a ball that is. It's in the corridor of uncertainty because Dean Henderson thought about coming, decided at the last second not to attack it. Eze and Reece James colliding after that, and Reece has hit the ground. Well, that's the kind of talent that Estevao Willian is. Oh, it turns out that the collision between Reece James and Ebre Eze has resulted in a Chelsea free kick about 22 yards from goal. Right foot of Reece James, left foot of Cole Palmer. Palmer has scored a free kick last season against Brighton. Reece James scored that 92nd minute equalizer against Bournemouth at home. Both players having scored free kicks for Chelsea. On top of this ball here, Chelsea need a moment of magic to break open the scoring here. Palace have been stubborn in the opening game week here in the Premier League. Cucurella and Caicedo in the wall. Palmer's left foot might just look to curl this. Reece's right is a deadly weapon too. Might look to float this ball into the box, but I don't see either player doing it. It's Cole Palmer. It's blocked against the wall. The wall does its job. Nowhere near the elevation on it here. Sanchez drills the ball well out of play, but looks like that was deliberately as Chris Richards suffers a head injury. Yep, Chris Richards suffering that head injury. 0-0 the scoreline. Chelsea making the substitution of Estevao Willian. Ooh, Eden Hazard is at the bridge. Amazing to see the Prince of Stamford Bridge there. He's got a nice little seat in the executive box, and rightfully so. Chelsea legend, man. Brought so much joy on the pitch. I mean, a player that just got me off my chair every single time I watched him. Fortunate to see Chris Richards needing a bit of patch-up work here. Well, good to see Chris Richards back on his feet. He will have to eat the cloth for a little bit, the gauze rather. Yep, just jammed that in his nose. It's going to be a sore one, but he's not going to come off the pitch, that's for sure. As we head into the final 30 minutes of action here. Chelsea haven't shown enough really, but Palmer and Estevao have put in two decent ball into the box. So are we expecting something in terms of a far post tap in from either one of the wingers? We'll wait and see. Palmer continues as that left-sided number 10 as Enzo Fernandez will look to combine with Estevao Willian on that right-hand side. Here's Achampong. Again showing his composure and driving ability with the ball. Accurate pass onto the left-hand side. Finds Pedro Neto, who's had to swap wings now with the introduction of Estevao Willian. Chalobah. Clip ball into the box. Oh, it's a very good header. I think that's Mark Gahey. No, it's Tyrick Mitchell rather, who has covered the back post there. Just flicks that away for a corner. Good ball this from Trevor Chalobah. Estevao's made that run towards the far stick. Just waiting for the ball to drop at his feet there. Tyrick Mitchell does his defensive duty as the wing back. Pedro Neto will take the corner here. Chelsea need to ramp up the pressure. 3 points are all that matters in the first game here. Pedro Neto's ball into the box. Oh, the header's over. It is Joao Pedro's header. Floated ball into the box. Not much pace on it. Pedro having to generate the pace from that Pedro Neto corner. Having got there, doesn't time his jump well. Again, bravery, Mr. Maresca. That's what we want to see. Can he bring on Andres Santos? Can he bring on Liam Delap and maybe play two centre forwards? Something has to change here for Chelsea as Jean-Philippe Mateta holds the ball up stupendously. Superb from Esteval. Look at him biting into the challenge. Esteval Willian, look at him go. Magnificent. Oh, he looks to combine with Joao Pedro. Good challenge on Joao Pedro, but Esteval Willian has really been a burst of electricity down the right-hand side for Chelsea. Applauded by Enzo Maresca, who wants him to be switched on here off the ball. Again, we want to see Cole Palmer and Esteval combine down that right-hand side as much as possible. Ebre Eze has been a bit quiet in the second half. Chelsea have kept a lid on the Crystal Palace attacks in the second half so far. Good control without really troubling the Crystal Palace back line here. Reece James. Here's Esteval. James again. Josh Achimpong. Chelsea patient with the ball here. Chalobah finds Pedro Neto. Clip pass on his right foot to Joao Pedro, but it's Cucurella who picks up the ball on the left-hand side half space, forced to go all the way back to Chalobah. Achimpong. Sustained period of possession here from Chelsea. Trevor Chalobah. Mark Cucurella. Moises Caicedo. Chalobah again. Now Reece James. Chelsea building as a back three here. Cucurella inverting from left back into midfield. Enzo into the pocket to Joao Pedro. Enzo again. Outside of the boot pass. Clever to Pedro Neto down the left-hand side. Might look to go on the outside. Instead, it's on his right foot. What a ball that is! Brilliant clearance there. Looks to sit up nicely. Well, the Crystal Palace defenders having to do it all there. What a feed that was from Enzo Fernandez. And then he makes his way into the box. This is a very good ball in from Pedro Neto on his right foot. Well defended there from Crystal Palace. Here's Reece James now. Moises Caicedo. Chelsea ramping up the pressure. Chalobah. On the left-hand side is Pedro Neto. There is no overlap option because Chelsea play narrow in that regard. It's only the attackers who provide the width here. It's fullback to fullback as Reece James looks to clip the ball onto the head of Mark Cucurella. It's out for a goal kick. Well, James and Cucurella combined for that all-important goal against Manchester United last season. A must-win game at Stamford Bridge. It was really the clip pass of Reece James onto the head of Mark Cucurella. Oh, we've got Brazilian royalty at the Stamford Bridge stands there. Romario's there to support his boys. Got plenty of Brazilian representation here, Chelsea. Oh, Cucurella has missed the challenge and he's awfully out of position here. Here's Mateta. Oh, he's lost the ball on that occasion. Just loses his balance. I think that was Pape Sarr. Sun really beaming down at Stamford Bridge still here. Here's Pedro Neto driving Chelsea forward. Needs to find Cole Palmer. Again, Palmer picking up spots on the left-hand side. Clever pass there. Here's Palmer. Oh, chance. Esteval takes a heavy touch. Esteval, it's over. Well, I'm sure the blood was rushing through his head. Great feed there from Pedro Neto into the path of Cole Palmer. He picks his head up, releases the ball across goal. Look at this. Esteval again reads the space so well. That first touch just gets away from him. Well, Pedro Neto was probably in a better position to pull the trigger, but Esteval was not going to let him. Having miscontrolled the ball, he wanted to take advantage. But once again, Esteval Willian is such a live wire down that right-hand side. Oh, surely a foul there. It's a needless one there from Trevor Chalobah on Jean-Philippe Mateta. Esteval Willian already in this brief cameo has caused all sorts of problems here for Crystal Palace. Palace forced to really retreat now. Haven't really created in the second half. They've been forced to or limited rather, to set pieces. Still, all it takes is one chance here with the game so finely poised. Well, Chelsea have to be watchful here. This is where Crystal Palace can be dangerous. Still 0-0 the scoreline here at Stamford Bridge. Left-footed clip ball in by Adam Wharton. Far post run unmarked, but Mitchell doesn't get there and will be out for a goal kick. Clever ball there from Adam Wharton. Hasn't been at his influential best in the second half. He was really pulling the strings in the first. That pass to Jean-Philippe Mateta was one of the passes of the first half. Enzo Fernandez, better control there from him. Finds Esteban Willian, tries to go around the outside. Good strong play there from Tyreek Mitchell. Again, João Pedro bites into the challenge there. Might have come out second best. And is it time for Chelsea to bring Liam Delap on? Maybe even Andres Santos still waiting for it. Reece James shows off his strength and recovers the ball nicely here. Here's Achampong. Sanchez to Cucurella. Allowed to turn there, the Spaniard. Caicedo finds Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea need to move the ball a lot more quicker here. Palmer miscontrols but brings it under his spell. Here's Cole Palmer. They're now swapping wings here now. He's looking to play on that right hand side with Esteban. Instead, game has almost gone to a standstill here. Chelsea playing the game at a walking pace. Have to try and just step up the tempo here. Here's Moises Caicedo. Chalobah. Achampong finds Pedro Neto. Chalobah again, forcing Chelsea back with these lateral passes. Oh, such a risky pass that is from Josh Achampong. And now it's Palace on the break here. Ebreze decided to go for goal from 40 yards. What was that? Good block there from Caicedo, but Palace on the break here. Good ball in. And Reece James on the cover bails out Josh Achampong, who's made a couple of errant passes in this match. This one could have hurted Chelsea. Such a strange decision by Ebreze to try and chip the goalkeeper from about 40 yards. Well, we spoke about this in the first half. Changes, and it's exactly the change that I predicted. Will Hughes for Jefferson Lerma. The Colombian comes in for Will Hughes, who's had a good shift at the heart of the midfield. Jefferson Lerma, the number 8, adds legs, athleticism, power, and he can strike the ball too. So a different proposition for Chelsea to deal with. Corner here for Crystal Palace. Ebreze will look to make amends there. Decent ball in. Good defending at the front post there, and Sanchez will claim the ball for a goal kick. And Chelsea's set-piece defending has been good here. And Chelsea, if they can take advantage of this long ball, a 3-on-1 here. Pedro Neto again chases down the Rob Sanchez long ball. We saw that tactic in the first half where Sanchez found Pedro Neto, but on that occasion, Tyreek Mitchell comes across. Under 20 minutes plus stoppage time remains in this first half here for Chelsea. Palmer, Caicedo, Reece James. Can Chelsea forced to go back, to go forward here? Patience, the name of the game. Achampong should be shaking off those cobwebs of those errant passes. Caicedo looks to up the tempo. Enzo bails him out there with the pass. Here's Caicedo again. Better control this from Chelsea. It isn't end-to-end like it was in the first half. Palace are not really opening us up, but they're happy to acknowledge that Chelsea would be a lot more superior on the ball in the second half. So just drop a couple of yards. Go from maybe a high press to a mid-block, or a mid-block to a deep one. Forcing Chelsea to think outside the box here. Here's Reece James in his own half here. It's a long ball here to Cucurella. I do not understand this tactic here from Chelsea. Long balls to Pedro Neto and João Pedro is one thing, but Playing those clip balls to Cucurella in the channel. Very, very strange. Estovao so good, man. Even in the defensive phases, helping out. Chelsea looking lackluster here at the opening game week in the Premier League season. Good work there from Chalobah. Does very well, Chalobah, and then switches the ball nicely forward here. Here's Pedro Neto. Surely there's a foul there from Lacroix for sure. He cannot believe it, but he's come across. It's another free kick in an interesting situation here for Chelsea. Maxence Lacroix cannot believe that he was adjudged to have fouled the Portuguese on that occasion. He's got his arm around Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto clutches his shin there. Might have just got a bit of a graze on it. He has won a free kick for Chelsea in a dangerous situation here. Chelsea will look to make the change. And it is like for like here. Two like for like substitutions here. Joao Pedro comes off for Liam Delap. £30 million signing from the relegated side Ipswich Town, as Nico Jackson is pretty much on his way out here. It's a disappointing end for Jackson and Chelsea. But Chelsea now have a all-new front line, and Liam Delap looks to make his presence known with the first action as Chelsea have a free kick here. Reece James and Pedro Neto. Chelsea always having a right and left foot option on all their set pieces here. And the delivery has to be spot on here. Expecting the Reece James right foot ball into the box. Cucurella is prowling like a prime centre forward here, looking to attack the box. Estovao at the edge of it. Good ball in, it's cleared away though. Estovao will have to run back a lot. Oh, what a challenge that is from Estovao Willian. Oh, the foul has been given and it's a yellow card. Estovao Willian with not much of a complaint there. See, Daniel Munoz was racing away there. Estovao had to go for the challenge. Let's have a look here. Oh, he swiped out the Colombian. Deserved yellow card there, and the only reason that it wasn't a red because Munoz was in his own half there. He still had a lot of ground to cover. But that's a professional challenge, a professional foul, and a professional yellow card for Estovao Willian. The youngster showing his maturity here. Can two substitutions made by Enzo Maresca? Could he have been a bit more braver, maybe taken off the likes of Enzo Fernandez, kept Joao Pedro on and Liam Delap as the focal point. Instead, he's gone like for like. He knows that Crystal Palace are very much capable of not just taking a point, but taking all three here. So he is erring on the side of caution. Decent ball in to keep it short here. Good press applied there on the right hand side by Reece James, combining with Estovao Willian. Well, heading into the final 15 minutes really is reaching at that stage where one goal just might settle it for either team. Can Chelsea just scrape over the line here? Saw that Liverpool, Manchester City have all started their campaigns with victories and scored 4 goals on in both those games really. Arsenal will be looking to start off their campaign with the victory, but they have a tricky tie at Old Trafford against Manchester United coming up later on, and yeah, I will be doing a live stream for that. That game is going to be a blockbuster really, as Eze looks to switch. What a pathetic ball that is from Eze. It turns into a counter-attack for us. Eze has tried the spectacular on a couple of occasions, hasn't worked. What were you thinking there, Breyers? And if Chelsea were to score from this situation, instead Cucurella is lackadaisical on the ball. Adam Wharton pinches it. He's picked his head up here. Thought about the long switch. Instead, he's kept it short for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Great challenge there from Moises Caicedo. And he gets a critical block to stop the Crystal Palace attack there. Here's Chris Richards. Suffered that facial injury in the second half. And that collision off the corner. And from Chelsea's point of view, it is looking a bit bleak, I'm not going to lie, in terms of trying to get all 3 points. We might have to scam one here. Achimpong, oh, look at that from Jean-Philippe Mateta. Just spins the center half and tries to take that on the half volley. Straight at Sanchez though. Again, it's old school center forward play here from the Frenchman. Trying to catch out the goalkeeper straight down the barrel of Sanchez. Sanchez was not happy with Josh Achimpong allowing Mateta to have a shot there. Here's Caicedo. Again, not much movement in front of the defenders here, and this is a problem for Chelsea. Have to get that midfield moving. Crystal Palace midfield just shuffling across, keeping their shape. Here's Cucurella now in the advanced position. Clever pass. Palmer looks to just thread that through Estevao. The reverse pass is on here. Here's Estevao on his left foot. Curls that towards the back post. Good defending there from Chris Richards. And Crystal Palace clear. Chelsea again ramping up the intensity here. Oh, Achimpong looks to take that first time. Jean-Philippe Mateta looking to bully the young centre half. And he's done so brilliantly there. Crystal Palace come away with the ball. Here's Munoz. Very good work there from Chalobah. Well, at this stage of the game, it just looks like Crystal Palace are very much capable of pinching a result here. Malo Gusto and Andre Santos coming on for Chelsea with 12 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here. Again, proactive here from Enzo Maresca, making sure that he uses his substitutions, and Enzo Fernandez's afternoon comes to an end. Very poor performance from the Argentine. He'll be the first one to acknowledge that. And again, we talked about like-for-like substitutions. That's pretty much what we're seeing here. We saw that with Estevao replacing Jamie Gittins. Liam Delap coming on for João Pedro. Malo Gusto replacing the skipper Reece James. Hands over the captain's armband to Moises Caicedo, and Andre Santos coming on for Enzo Fernandez. Well, Malo Gusto started to find his feet once again in this different position here for Chelsea, but he remains as that right-sided centre half, just taking on the position, or we might see a shift here with fresh legs maybe, and Malo Gusto playing in that midfield area, inverting from right back, and Cucurella playing as that left-sided centre half. We'll wait and see as Crystal Palace take a throw into the Chelsea box. First time clearance is good. And Chelsea going with a lot of youth. Oh, look at that poor pass there from Sanchez. He's just tried to lump that forward. Number of times Chelsea have played aimless long balls forward. I have lost count. Well, we're heading into the final 10 minutes here. Seems that Chelsea might start off their 2025-26 campaign with a draw. Yet again, it's Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge, who are very close of pinching a result here. 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Chelsea need answers. Still have one more substitution that we may be able to make, but those... No, I don't think there is. Only a concussion sub will be able to make, because the 3 windows of substitutions have been used. Here's Caicedo now. This is the team that have to go out there and try and win the points here for Chelsea. Well, Chalobah continues at left-sided centre-back. Malo Gusto will be playing as the right-back slash right-side centre-half, or Chelsea just might go into a back 4 here. Again, a long ball here, this time to Liam Delap. Do not understand the strategy. Chelsea looking to quicken the tempo here as time runs out. Chalobah. Here's Moises Caicedo. Chelsea really struggling here. Haven't been able to open up Crystal Palace. Dean Henderson has made 0 saves. He only had to palm out one of the Cole Palmer's crosses, but other than that, nothing really. And another long ball. I do not understand. Oh, Rob Sanchez is having an absolute stinker. What is the plan here? How are we going to win the ball? And the only long ball has to go to Liam Delap. Instead, here's Crystal Palace. Another shot from distance stings the palm of Robert Sanchez, who just palms that back onto the roof of the net here. It's Ebreze, for the first time in the second half, picks up the ball in the pocket. Chelsea back off. And he unleashes a ferocious drive on his right foot here, Ebreze. Decent save there from Rob Sanchez, but he'll concede the corner. Well, there's so much jeopardy in this contest here. Crystal Palace just need to fashion one chance to take all 3 points. Decent ball in, cleared away. Chelsea do well enough. Again, defending the set piece as well. Chelsea have played so poorly here. It's been really anticlimactic as Steve Parish, the chairman of Crystal Palace, finding a seat at the bridge here. There's a lot of issues with UEFA, didn't there, as Crystal Palace had rightfully booked their spot in the UEFA Europa League, but a dispute with Lyon means that Palace will have to play the Conference League this season, and Ebreze's afternoon comes to an end. Again, the closest that anyone has come to score on the pitch here at Stamford Bridge. He comes off. Thank goodness Eze doesn't score against us, but boy oh boy, he came close. Number 55, Devaney, will take his place. Will he operate in that same left-hand side number 10 position? We'll wait and see as Sanchez just about gets a claw on it. It was Jean-Philippe Mateta who had challenged in the air. Again, the header into the box, cleared away by Chalobah. And Chelsea forced to chase down a long ball here. Delap doing well to bring it down. Chelsea now have to show desperation, really. We talked about patience in the second half. That has not paid off for Chelsea, so it's all about going up a gear here. 0 attempts on target in the second half. Very poor from Chelsea. Here's Malo Gusto. Trevor Chalobah. Pedro Neto, poor pass. Again, just the lack of quality on the outside, on that left-hand side. Throughout the game, really, we didn't see much from Jamie Gittins in the first half. And when Pedro Neto is shifted onto the left-hand side, no real change either. Here's Estevao. He's looked Chelsea's brightest attacking spot. Again, Estevao trying to do it all by himself there. He's doubled on that occasion. Fouled there by Andre Santos. Yep, the true Brazilians in Andre Santos and Estevao Willian playing on the same side here. They will have that telepathy, having played before and understanding each other's games. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain here. Crystal Palace are 5 minutes plus stoppage time away from doing a job at Stamford Bridge here. And they will feel that they thoroughly deserve a point at least at the bridge. Again, a hook pass easily dealt with by the Palace defenders. Malo Gusto helps out defensively, does well, but it's in a very curious place where he hooks the ball. Oh, surely a foul there. Andre Santos barged off the ball. Chelsea really are running out of time here. Jefferson Lerma making the challenge on the young Brazilian. Oliver Glasner will identify and acknowledge that his team have done very, very well at a tricky and tough away ground for them. Back-to-back seasons, picking up a point at the bridge is a very healthy return for Oliver Glasner and Crystal Palace. Here's Caicedo. Cucurella lays it off to Liam Delap. Takes it around the defender. The first touch is poor, but second touch is even worse. Liam Delap concedes a goal kick. Well, do Chelsea have it in them? But evidence from this first game suggests that we might not have that cutting edge to open up Crystal Palace here. Not for a lack of effort. Can't say that the lads didn't work hard or didn't look like they wanted the result, but just that lack of quality on the day. Again, Liam Delap having to run the channel down. He's done very well there. Delap, brilliant. Outstanding hold-up play. Oh, the touch there just gets away from Cole Palmer as Maxence Lacroix comes across. It's a corner here for Chelsea. Outstanding hold-up play there from Liam Delap. Had no business winning the ball. Not just won it, but laid it off there for Palmer. Chelsea have to take advantage of set pieces here. Time really running out. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time remain at the bridge. Anyway, will do. Just get that ball over the line. Ball comes in. Again, the first ball has been won by Crystal Palace. Caicedo heads it back into the box and Palace clears it away. Chelsea backpedaling. Malo Gusto, calm, composed. Does very nicely. Again, another long ball for Pedro Neto chase. I mean, Pedro Neto would have covered so much ground in this match. Just by chasing aimless long balls, that's for sure. Good ball there. Here's Malo Gusto. Gusto, don't shoot. Why are you shooting? Oh my goodness. 2 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Malo Gusto gets a rush of blood to the head and pulls from 25 yards well over the crossbar. Todd Bowley in attendance on his phone, making the boss calls. Quickly told by his partner that he was on screen and keeps his phone away. Well, Chelsea last season started their campaign with a 2-0 defeat at the hands of the champions Manchester City. Could have taken a lot of encouragement with the way that we played, considering it was a young side, new manager, managing his first game in the Premier League. This time with a lot more expectations. While the result is better against inferior opposition, it really is drop points here for Chelsea. Final minute of normal time. Here's Malo Gusto. Do Chelsea have it in them to dig deep, to fashion one clear-cut opportunity just before the full-time whistle? Estevao lays it off to Malo Gusto. Achiampong. Chelsea look like they might leave Stamford Bridge with a clean sheet, which is pretty much the only positive for what has been a turgid display in front of goal. Here's Malo Gusto again. Andre Santos. Shovel pass. Liam Delap. Liam Delap! It's straight at Henderson. No power, no the direction. Clever scoop pass there from Andre Santos. Again, Liam Delap uses his physicality to get there first. Doesn't take a touch. The ball sits up nicely for him. Again, doesn't strike it sweetly enough though. We're into stoppage time now. Time officially running out for Chelsea. Literally on borrowed time. Another pass here to Palmer. Cole Palmer lays it across. Cucurella can't get to the back heel yet. Chelsea have 6 minutes to try and carve out an opportunity. Crystal Palace continue with their stubbornness. Pedro Neto thought about the cross. Now drives into the box himself. Again, Chelsea hesitant. Chalobah. Here's Achiampong. Half a minute of stoppage time already down the drain here. Estevao double teamed immediately. Trying to go around the outside here, the Brazilian. Brilliant from Estevao again. Last touch comes off the defender. It's a corner for Chelsea. Tyreek Mitchell makes the challenge. Estevao William once again trying to drag Chelsea to the finish line here. He will take the corner. Crystal Palace will look to try and break here if they can. Chelsea looking for the opener. Estevao's ball in. It's a disappointing one. Last touch comes off Dean Henderson by the looks of it, because I don't think anyone was at the near post. That is very clever from Dean Henderson. Had to get down low and make sure that the ball didn't squirm in at the near post. Liam Delap trying to make his size known here as Estevao's ball in is a disappointing one. Doesn't beat the first man. Cushion touch is immaculate to Malo Gusto, who gives it back to Estevao. Estevao again hangs on to the ball for far too long. Crystal Palace get away with it. Sanchez well out of his goal line here. Here's Malo Gusto. Cole Palmer quickly scans and then gets away from the challenge brilliantly there. Just tries to play that into the inside there of Andre Santos. 4 minutes remain here for Chelsea. Crystal Palace have done a magnificent job on the Blues here. Again, another clip pass. Liam Delap runs the channel and lays it off immaculately. Chance! Oh my goodness! Andre Santos. What a chance. He decides to take it first time on his left foot. Curious decision from the young Brazilian. Again, it's Liam Delap with outstanding hold-up play here. Lovely first touch. Cucurella plays it across. Now, Andre Santos is a right footer. So why does he not allow the ball to go across his body and take it first time on his right? Instead, he shapes and he shoots on his left. And it's well over. Well, Estevan Willian had a chance on his left foot, which he ballooned over. Andre Santos following suit there. Chelsea creating the best opportunity in stoppage time here. Liam Delap fizzes that into the feet of Estevan Willian. Good strength there from the youngster. The Brazilian youngster is trying to drag Chelsea over the line here. 3 minutes remain here. Cole Palmer breaking his neck to get into the box here. Pedro Neto floats the ball into the box. Headers on target. Again, it's Andre Santos who's making his presence known in the box. He heads that into the dangerous area. Liam Delap had made that run here. Can't get there first though. Good win there from Andre Santos. Pedro Neto's right-footed ball in. Very well angled. Delap can't get there first. Crystal Palace repel yet another Chelsea attack here. Oh, there was a chance. But the touch there from Devaney is far too heavy. Oliver Glasner now would be thirsting for the point. Dean Henderson making a few saves, but nothing of notable mentions really in this match. Chelsea better in the second half, but not done well enough to open the scoring here. And to some extent, or to a large extent really, we'll feel that they've kind of got away with it with a point. Good 1-2 here with Palmer. Malo Gusto on the right hand side. No one really making the run in the inside channel. 1-2 again. Malo Gusto not making the run. Esteban trying to do his best there to try and keep the ball in play. Instead, it's out for a goal kick, and Palace nearly there. 90 seconds away from back-to-back points at Stamford Bridge. Disappointing start to the campaign here for Chelsea. Already 2 points behind Liverpool and Manchester City, and potentially behind Arsenal too, who travel to Old Trafford next for that massive clash. Final minute of stoppage time here. Time running out for Chelsea. Mateta can't bring that under control. Chelsea have to go out there. But I don't really see the desperation. They might be just claiming the point here and focus on the next game. Do we have it in us? 30 seconds remain. Here's Marc Cucurella. Pedro Neto. Cole Palmer. Decent first touch. Well marshaled there from Chris Richards. Time running out for Chelsea here. Surely this is the last attack. 15 seconds remain. Pedro Neto finds Cole Palmer. Now or never really. We might have another corner, and we do. Last chance will be off a set piece. Chris Richards comes across and makes the interception. And Chelsea now have to commit everybody into the box here. There's surely no time for a counter-attack. 6 minutes of breeze past here at the bridge. Chelsea drawing blanks on the opening day. Corner comes into the box. They head it away. It's a very good header. And the referee blows the full-time whistle. And Crystal Palace get a deserved draw at Stamford Bridge. Outstanding performance from Oliver Glasner and his men. Ebre Eze looked to have scored in the 13th minute, but his free kick was adjudged as offside and gave Chelsea a huge lifeline early on. But Chelsea really couldn't take advantage or score the goal that would have given them all 3 points. Instead, the spoils are shared here at Stamford Bridge. Full time here, it's Crystal Palace